What's up, guys? It's your boy MMA Striker here with a new video today. Now today I'm going to be doing an MMA Q&A video where I have people on Twitter send me questions MMA related and I answer them and shout them out. And if you want to see me do this video more often, make sure to comment down below, like this video, and subscribe. So the first question is from @FHO_NL, and his question is, do you think Alexander Gustafsson still has a career in the UFC? And if so, at light heavyweight or heavyweight? Yeah, I think he still has a career in the UFC, and I think it will be at heavyweight. I think he'll be a top 8 through 12 contender at heavyweight. Good fights for him should be like Augusto Sakai, Tai Tuivasa, Derek Lewis, maybe JDS or Alexander Volkov. But yeah, those are good fights for him. But thank you for the question. I appreciate it. And second question comes from @JamesCell93. Shout out to him for this question. Who do you think had the stronger claim to beating Jones, Reyes or Santos? Reyes. He landed the bigger shots on Jon Jones, the more significant strikes on Jon Jones, landed more flush and clean shots on Jon Jones, and he was the first person to ever rock Jon Jones in a fight, so I think Reyes did. But Santos did have a good fight, and he was the first person to ever show that leg kicks work on Jon Jones, which nobody did before Santos did. Gustafsson didn't do it, Rashad Evans didn't do it, Rampage didn't do it. Nobody threw leg kicks on Jon Jones, so Santos was the first person to do that, but overall Reyes had the better claim. But thank you for the question, I appreciate it. Next question comes from @SoberConnor. Shout out to him for this question. He says, rank Khabib, Conor, Gaethje, Tony, and Dustin. So I'm going to rank them by skill and who they beat and what they have done in the lightweight division. 1, Khabib. 2, Tony. 3 is where it gets tough between Conor, Gaethje, and Dustin. I think Conor's the overall better striker than Gaethje and Dustin. Better grappler. In MMA, I'm going to have to go with Dustin Poirier because he has shown more grappling than Gaethje has, and he has used it to win fights. Go back and watch Dustin versus Pettis. That was a great fight where Dustin showcased his grappling a lot and got him to win. So grappling, I'll give the advantage to Dustin Poirier. Cardio, I'll give it to Gaethje. And who beat the better opponents? Conor is the only one out of those three to win the undisputed belt, but Gaethje and Dustin beat better opponents to win their belts. Dustin beat Max Holloway, who was on a 12-fight win streak, and Gaethje finished Tony Ferguson, who was on an 11-fight win streak and hadn't lost in like 9 years. So I think Gaethje beat the overall better opponent to win his belt, but who beat the overall better competition? Dustin Poirier. So number 3, I'll put Dustin Poirier. Number 4, I'll put Conor McGregor, and number 5, I'll put Justin Gaethje. But thank you for the question, I appreciate it. Next question comes from @MMA Loop, and his question is GSP or Khabib. It's a tough fight, man. Striking wise, GSP, but the grappling is so close. I don't know who's going to win the grappling. To be honest, I think the grappling is going to cancel each other out, and it's going to become a striking match where I think GSP is going to be overall better than Khabib at. And I think GSP is going to win a 48-47 decision. I don't think the layoff will affect GSP that much, because if he comes back and fight Khabib in 2020, the layoff would be shorter than a Michael Bisping layoff. And in the Michael Bisping fight, he was heavier than he will be in the Khabib fight, and he was sick too. He had a disease while fighting. So I think GSP will be much better, much more in shape if he fights Khabib opposed to when he fought Bisping. So I'll go with GSP by decision. But thank you for the question, I appreciate it. Next question comes from @YouTube Thier. Shout out to Thier. He has a great YouTube channel. He has 10K subs. Go subscribe to him. And his question is, who have you got if Khabib versus GSP ever happens? So pretty much like the same like the last question. I think GSP will win. I think the wrestling will cancel each other out and it'll be a striking match. I think GSP will win a decision. But thank you for the question, I appreciate it. Next question comes from @RuthlessMMA. How would MVP do in the UFC? See, I think he can win some fights, but I don't think he'll be like a top ranked guy. Actually, let's look at the rankings. Let's look at the welterweight rankings really quick. All right, UFC rankings. Let's go to welterweight. All right, so number 15, Anthony Pettis. I think he could beat Pettis. I think that's a winnable fight for him. Unless Pettis grapples. If Pettis decides to grapple, then it could be a tough fight. But I'll go MVP in that one. Neil Magny. That's a tough one. I'll go with Neil Magny by decision. Robbie Lawler. At this point in Robbie Lawler's career, I'll go MVP. Nate Diaz. Ooh, this is tough. This is a tough one. MVP. I think he's the better striker than Nate Diaz, but if Nate Diaz gets him in the clinch and starts grappling, I think he'll beat MVP. So I'll go Nate Diaz on that one. Jeff Neal. Ooh, that's a bad matchup for MVP. I got Jeff Neal by knockout. Vicente Luque. Ooh, it's another tough one. I think this fight actually looks similar to the Wonderboy fight. I think MVP and Vicente Luque gave a great fight, but I'll go MVP by decision. RDA. Ooh. I'm gonna go RDA by decision. I think RDA has more tools in his bag. Even though, yeah, I think RDA has more in his arsenal. I'll go RDA. Chiesa. I'll go Chiesa by submission. I think his grappling will be a little too much for MVP. I think he'll get a sub. Damian Maia. See, this is a tough one because I think MVP striking would give Maia a lot of problems, but if Maia gets a hold to him, it's a wrap. So I'll go Damian Maia by submission. Wonderboy Thompson. Now this is a very interesting fight, but I'll go Wonderboy. I think Wonderboy striking is much more sharper than MVP striking is, but so I'll go Wonderboy. Tyron Woodley. Now if it's the Woodley that showed up against Burns and Usman, then I'll go MVP. So yeah, I'll go MVP by probably a decision. Jorge Masvidal. Now this is a very bad matchup. I got Masvidal by knockout. I think Masvidal's footwork will be better. I think Masvidal has a better combination. Masvidal's rear lead kick to the body will be a huge problem for MVP. I think that will drain MVP stamina, and I think Masvidal will get a knockout probably like round 2. So I'll go Masvidal. Leon Edwards. I got Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards striking, I think, is more better than MVP. MVP is very good striking, but I think Leon Edwards will win the decision. But that'll be a competitive fight though. Colby Covington. Now this is where it gets tough. Colby Covington, I think he'll just ragdoll MVP. I think the pressure, the pace would be a little too much for MVP. He wouldn't have time to really get much of his striking off against Colby. I think Colby will win the decision, probably like a 30-27. Gilbert Burns. I got Gilbert Burns. I got him by submission. I got him by TKO. I think he'll catch MVP coming in and finish him, similar to how Douglas Lima did it. But I think he'll get a TKO. And Kamaru Usman, I think Usman dominates fairly easily. So yeah, I think MVP, he'll do okay in the UFC. I don't think he'll be too successful though. But shout out to Ruthless MMA for the question. I appreciate it. Next question comes from @way2_savage. Thank you for the question. And shout out to you. And he says, if they were to reform the judging / scoring to have a more universal standard, what would you like to see? Also, should judges have certain qualifications such as a certain amount of fights / years training? As far as the judging, I think the judges should be either former fighters, coaches, or like somebody who has experience with fighting, who has been in the octagon, who's either trained, who has fought, who has coached. So I think either former fighters or coaches should be judging fights. And as far as the scoring, I think open scoring should be a thing. I really think they should do open scoring. Like imagine if it's a championship fight and the fight is 2-2 score going into the 5th round, it's 2-2, and the fighters look up and they know it's tied and they have to win the round and win the fight. You know how dramatic that would be? Or if somebody was down 3 rounds to 1 and they need to finish, that would be a crazy 5th round. So I think open scoring should be a thing. And as far as judging, I think coaches and former fighters should be the judges. But thank you for the question. I appreciate it. Okay, he has another question too. So, should soccer kicks be illegal? Nah, I think soccer kicks would be OP. Like imagine if Francis Ngannou coming at you with a soccer kick, or Israel Adesanya or John Jones. That would be crazy. That would be deadly. But nah, I think soccer kicks should be illegal still. If so, should we go back to the Pride rules where elbows were illegal because of cuts possibly giving somebody a win? Nah, elbows should be legal. If elbows were illegal, it would take away from a lot of people's games. Like John Jones, it would hurt him a lot. Tony Ferguson the most. It would hurt. Like imagine if Tony Ferguson couldn't throw elbows in a fight. Yeah, that would be really bad. So elbows should stay legal. It's a part of a lot of people's games. Or should it be legal minus the obvious groin strikes, eye pokes, and fish hooks? Yeah, those should be gone. So I think soccer kicks should be illegal. I wouldn't go back to the prior rules. I would keep the rules the same pretty much as they are today. But thank you for the question. I appreciate it. And the final question is from @HealthyRob1. And he says top 10 strikers of all time. Ooh, this is a hard one. So all time, number 1, I'm gonna go Prime Anderson Silva. Number 2, I'm gonna go Israel Adesanya. Number 3, I'm gonna go Wonder Boy. Number 4, ooh, this is hard. I'm gonna have to think about this one. Number 4, I'll put Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor, number 4. Number 5, number 5, Jose Aldo. Number 6. This is hard to think about. Number 6, I'm gonna go Alistair Overeem. Yep, Alistair Overeem, number 6. Number 7. Ooh, my goodness. This is a hard list to make, man. This is a hard list. Number 7. This is really hard to think about. Number 7. I'm gonna go with best striker. I'll put Max Holloway up there. Yeah, Max Holloway. Number 7. Number 8. I'll put Mirko Cro Cop. Yeah, Mirko Cro Cop, number 7. Number 8, right? Yeah, number 8. Number 9, I'll put Rumble. Not Rumble. No, Edson Barboza, number 9. Edson Barboza. And number 10, I'll put it's hard. I'll put Fedor, number 10. I'm gonna have to go back and think about that list, but because I pretty much named it at the top of my head, so it probably won't be as accurate if I think about it. But thank you for the question. I appreciate it. And that's gonna do it for this Q&A video. Hope you guys liked the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And like I said in the beginning, if you want to see me do this more often, let me know in the comment section or let me know on Twitter. But other than that, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys for the UFC 252 prediction video.